Spoilers ahead, fucknuts.
This is our destiny. You, me. The question is, do you have it in you to make it epic?
I am the great Dementus, and I rule the Wasteland.
Remember me?
Who do we have here?
I'm Furiosa! Full of hope. There is no hope.
Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. Rated R. Only in theaters May 24th.
Oh, why you gotta be so mean, Mickey? Fuck up! Shut the fuck up, Goof! Alright, then we'll...
Want to elaborate on that?
No, not really.
Just leave them guessing.
Yeah, you know what? That's gonna be our opener now. Welcome!
No more. Spoilers ahead, fuck nuts.
No.
Fucking Mickey Mouse greeting you.
Yeah. Oh boy! Oh boy! I can't wait for this!
Disney, don't sue us.
Yeah.
We're gonna go see Deadpool and Wolverine, we promise.
Ah, fuck.
If I see it multiple times, we'll be making some money off of us.
I didn't think of that. They're desperate for money. They might sue us.
Hello, Pose.
Welcome to Furiosa Review.
How you doing, Silas?
Pretty good, Leon. Would you like to start us off with this with this movie of Furiosa that we've seen?
Yes, Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga, even though he was only in it for fucking 2 seconds.
Yes, or we think it's him.
Yes,
it's kind of obvious.
One of those cameos.
Yep.
That end up just kind of, they don't show you his face, so it's kind of like, is that him? But it's his car, and yeah.
Probably not even Tom, to be honest. They probably just got someone that looks like him and just threw him in there since it was like a silhouette.
Yeah, I don't think they got Mel Gibson or Tom Hardy for
No,
that.
no. Yeah, we can't afford to pay them for 2 seconds. We're just going to get a guy who looks like
Get
them.
some fucking stunt double, dude. Who gives a shit? We're not showing his face. We'll get away with it. He's just eating dog food or something.
Oh, yes.
But
dog food.
Obviously, this is
lizard.
a spoiler, even though we just went into a big spoiler. This is a spoiler podcast.
That's barely a spoiler. 2 seconds is not a spoiler.
His name's in the movie.
Is it?
Yeah, Furiosa Mad Max Saga is the full name.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Part of the Mad Max universe.
People knew this was in the universe, but
just to clarify,
for anyone expecting that character, yeah, he's
2 seconds.
In it for 2 seconds.
Doesn't say a thing,
and that's the gist of it.
Just watching, probably eating dog food. Just watching as Furiosa's basically almost dead.
But what did you think of this focus on Furiosa rather than Mad Max, who was obviously the character that was portrayed by Charlize Theron in the 2015 Fury Road movie? They introduced that character, and it was a fan favorite.
Honestly, I was when they first announced it, surprising. I'm not gonna lie, because it seemed like a weird turn of just having a Mad Max Fury Road or having a Mad Max movie after years. But then they're like, hey, how about we just do a Furiosa prequel real quick? And
yeah, I didn't really know what to expect
weird.
when it first got announced.
It seemed weird, but I think they pulled it off. They did a good job, I think, pulling it off and making like her a good character and everything in a pretty badass movie.
No, exactly. Especially since a lot of this character, or a lot of the portrayal with Anya Taylor-Joy, who's now playing the character,
could not tell you that was a different person.
Alila Brown, who actually plays her in like these childhood parts, And we were saying it's like about 40 to 50% of the movies, like almost like these childhood, probably like 45% is like these childhood flashbacks that start off the movie. And then it switches to the Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, the more
playing
adult
her.
version.
Yeah.
Doing her badass stuff.
And the casting is great here.
Yeah.
Because like all 3 actresses that have played the character now, even though it's 3 different actresses, it seems like we're actually getting the same person, just at different points in their life, which is really cool.
It was very surprising.
Yeah, that
like-
doesn't always work very well with some things where it's like very noticeable with other casting things sometimes.
I actually had no idea it was a different actress. Actually, between this and Fury Road,
right?
until
Like a
you
couple
told
minutes
me.
ago,
I'm like,
yeah.
and then we watched Fury Road after, and then I'm like, wow. You're right, or like I could tell once you're actually looking for it, but I did not. You could not really. You could barely tell.
And that's how good this movie is. I think like it's so good. Like after we saw it, we were like, I want to watch Fury Road now.
Oh yeah, we went right to it.
It almost acts as like an act 3 of like the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you watch Furiosa and then you watch Fury Road, it really is like almost like a lot of movies nowadays, like that Spider-Verse movie and stuff, where it's like part 1 and a part 2. Like that's kind of how I was viewing it in my mind watching both today, where it was like, wow, this really is like just you're getting a thing with her at the 3 different points in her life.
Yeah.
And then like it's really cool though.
Oh yeah, it feels like you can watch it because they do young her or little kid her, time skip, her being more teenager or older, but blah blah. And then you could basically just watch the next movie, and it's like her as more adult her going in and stuff. And it's like watching you could watch them back to back, and it can basically be one movie.
And I thought I thought the character of Furiosa, who was great in Mad Max Fury Road, like almost kind of overshadows Max in a way, where like Max barely talks in that movie. She has more lines than he does.
I like that though, charm of Max. He's just
kind of interesting with
just,
this though that she almost was like that role though, where she barely talked in Furiosa though. And
oh yeah, she was like mute for half the movie.
Exactly.
Like, basically half the movie.
So I thought that was really interesting because that character was still really good though, I thought, with Furiosa. So that shows how good the acting is, that they're through their eyes, and yeah, a lot of it's through the eyes I noticed, but like there was a lot of emotion still on display with that character. Where like even though there's not a lot of dialogue, you still root for that character and you still like that character.
Oh,
and it feels earned and stuff. It's not like Rey in Star Wars where you're just like, how did she become so OP just all of a sudden?
Oh no,
like,
you learn how she gets
exactly. OP. So it feels fully developed, and I think the world feels very fully developed at this point too. Like the world building's only gotten better with these as they've gone on.
Oh yeah, and in this one, instead of Immortal Joe, even though he's like still like a character in this, it more focuses on. It was Chris Hemmingsway's, right? Just so we can make sure.
For a Morton Joe, or he was Dementis.
For the other guy.
That was Lachi Hume was a Morton Joe.
Yeah, no, I'm not looking for Immortal Joe. I'm looking for the other guy.
Dr. Dementis?
Yeah, Dementis.
That's Chris Hemsworth. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that before I start, because we were saying, I told you, I told you, I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's Chris Hemsworth, but I wanted to double check because I was wrong about the other movie, but the actor, but yeah, he did
You thought Mark Hamill was in Kingdom.
We don't talk about this. We don't talk about it, but
they do kind of look alike. William H. Macy.
And it's just the old man look, and when every other character was a monkey in that other movie, the humans kind of just blend together. Anyway,
you're like, I could see Mark Hamill in Planet of the Apes. I
thought that was the big reveal because they made it seem like it was a bigger reveal, but you just see an old man there. Anyway,
hey, William H. Macy is cool too. He was in Boogie Nights. And
okay,
stuff.
I'm not totally dissing him. Okay. Anyway, Furiosa.
Well, yeah, what'd you think of Chris Hemsworth?
Oh, he did I think an interesting job at being like a warlord who's just out doing his thing, hunting down, doing like as I say, he's you can see the intelligence behind him specifically.
Did you think he was a good villain?
I think he was a very good villain. Yeah,
that's what I thought. And one of the things I was seeing with some of the reviews before this came out was people liked his performance, but they were almost saying like he was a bad villain though. And I was like, I feel like I don't feel that way. Like I feel like he was a good villain. Like it was almost like Leonardo DiCaprio and Django, where they're just like very entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
And they're like, they are fucked up. Like he's like a cannibal pretty much.
Oh, borderline. Hey, it's only human blood lizard sausage.
Yeah, and then he ends up killing Furiosa's mom.
Basically
Or
crucifying
his
her. Yeah.
people basically do, but yeah, I mean he's in charge of it, and yeah, right in front of her too.
Yeah, like, well, the thing is, the dude's basically kind of like a post-apocalypse Mongol horde type of guy in the beginning, where he has like these other tribes that he's unified under him, like to go around and overwhelm other people with sheer numbers and weapons. And you can see that, like how he's more intelligent. He keeps like the history guy to make sure to get information from. Because the old man that has like all the world, like a lot of the world's history essentially written on him. I'm pretty sure most of it.
Yeah, that was kind of an interesting character because like my brain was trying to remember. I was like, was this character in Fury Road? Like...
It reminded me a lot of what's his name, the king guy from the last Planet of the Apes. Remember the king monk? The king ape?
Yeah.
Like, because how he was doing the history from the human, who knew all that history. In this one, it's Chris Hemsworth guy using history from this old man that was probably alive when the bombs dropped, and he knows all the history that he's just recorded on his body.
And I feel like you saw with that character, like over time, like I feel like at first, like he actually was kind of like believed in Chris Hemsworth a little bit or something. I feel like as an audience member, you kind of also are thinking like, at least with me, like a similar thing where like seems like he kind of supports his people. I mean, he's fucked up. He's like this guy in the wasteland, but like he's not as fucked up as Morton Joe.
No, like I said, he is resemblance to like old Central Asian tribal nomads back in the day. It's a historical
version. Or like a cult
version,
leader, like just like one that's like really.
If you want cult leader, that's Morton Joe. Morton Joe is literally the cult leader, where they worship him as basically like a god.
Yeah,
where they're killing themselves for him. But Chris Hemsworth character is basically just a leader of a tribe because as you said, like you saw, there's other tribes. They're just choosing him as the main leader at the moment, but they'll break off. Essentially, he's probably unified these different groups, just like Genghis Khan did with the various Turkic groups, having them try and unify under him, and then progressing to conquer with the sheer numbers. But then once they start basically actually get Gastown.
Yeah,
because he's very competent in the beginning, but then once they get Gastown, try and get more into the civilization part of it, everything starts falling apart. It's kind of like being out of his own element.
Yeah.
Not to mention, as he tells Furiosa later that he just kind of fucks himself. Because he's like, I just need it. I just fuck myself after I get a little cozy. You know what? Fuck it.
I feel like there was like a lot more going on with like the plot in this one than some of the other Mad Max movies. Like there was like almost like a little bit more of like politics, kind of like the Star Wars prequels or something, but like very well done. It's in Furiosa.
It's warlord politics. That's why. It's not the fucking Senate politics. It's warlord politics.
Exactly. But it's like, this is how you do it.
Yeah, like
George Lucas.
Dude literally goes up to Immortal Joe with his hostage brother. They tricked into getting into Gastown, capturing him, and makes a negotiation with Immortal Joe.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to be the new Baron of Gastown. I require that you give us this many resources monthly or however shipment or whatever this assignment, and I'll give you the gas, and I don't blow up Gastown because it's covered in oil and fucking shit everywhere. And Morton Joe's like, okay. I also want that girl that you have right next to you.
I want to be one of my breeders.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, that's in Morton Joe's character. He just wants he wants healthy women so he can have a kid that's not absolutely fucked.
Oh, that scene was so fucked when like that one had the baby.
Oh, in Fury Road or the Furiosa. The guy,
like a four-legged baby.
Yeah, it's like a conjoined. He conjoined like Siamese twin type of baby.
Oh, that was so fucked.
Yeah, you're like, ooh. Well,
that was disturbing. That was like some PT shit when you saw that fetus in the fucking sink or whatever.
Oh yeah, it's like
I got PTSD. I think in that moment.
I mean, like, Though that's actually the reason he wants normal like women. That's the thing. He's like,
And
I
they
don't
were like,
want
3 strikes, you're
You-
out. We're gonna kill this bitch now.
because in the Mad Max world at this point, like everyone's like the new generation starts getting more mutated and more fucked
Yeah.
up. It seems because
It's like
probably
some Fallout babies.
probably like because of radiation. It's Australia, probably radiated sand everywhere, knowing that place. But
Do you think he took inspiration from anything like Fallout or anything like that over the years? George Miller.
maybe, I mean, like it's a possibility. He got
Yeah.
something like that. I saw a lot of history influence, like I said, with the nomad stuff and
I do see some
civilization
of that
stuff.
too.
'Cause
It's
that
kind of interesting.
lit-
Planet of the Apes kind of had some of that too.
yeah, I'm like
It's
because
kinda
that's
cool that they had that aspect to it.
it's literally what happens in history where like a lot of the Turkic or Central Asian tribes would
Mhm.
go invade like let's say Iran or one of their neighbors or some other country and they'll take over a city, but then they'll be like, hey, we'll stay in charge of this place, we're just the new rulers, let's work together, wink wink. And it's like, shit, I guess they
Kinda just took over.
they kind of
so-
just fucking took it, okay. And then because they're not really fucking used to it, so they kind of end up a lot of times running a fucking city to the ground most of the time.
Yeah.
Because some do, some don't, but yeah, that's kind of how you'll see that a lot of repeat of that in history. It's very interesting.
It almost makes you wonder with like Fury Road, like when they take over the Citadel at the end.
Oh,
It's like, did they just fuck up and like they're like, we're just gonna give resources to everyone now? And they just run out.
Oh
like,
yeah, in the
wicked
end of
quick.
Fury Road.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like Fury Road. The ending, you can kind of criticize it, where it's like they're like, oh, he was just controlling all this stuff for himself
I'm
because
sure
he's an
part of
asshole.
it was just knowing
Oh,
it's
yeah,
limited somewhat too.
Yeah, and you gotta think of it rationally, where it's like if you just hand out all that fucking water that's underneath, you're probably gonna run out a lot faster, bud, or
Yeah.
you can't replenish it fast enough. Then you can fucking create it, because that's why he's probably having, storing it up.
Yeah.
I mean, as fucked up as it is too, because yeah, it's like, oh yeah, all those people are suffering. He might be a little bit more of a dick, but they still gotta save up the resources.
Yeah.
In the end of Fury Road, but yeah.
I wonder if they'll ever get into that at some point with like a sequel or something, or if they just. I imagine it's gonna be
years
their,
later, the
I
sequel.
imagine it's gonna be their prospering. or
Max is gonna
something.
go back, and then the sequel, it's like already fucked up, just like the green place in the Mad Max got fucked in Fury Road, got fucked up between that and Furiosa.
hope.
Oh yeah, like so in Furiosa, she comes from a nice, beautiful green place, like place of
Yeah, so we see
Forest.
that. Well, the
Beautiful.
place they talked about in Fury Road, we finally see that at the beginning of this.
yeah, what it
movie.
looked like before she left.
With her, like
Or
her as a
got
child
captured or whatever.
scenes. It's literally the opening of the movie.
And I was just making fun. I'm like, dude, what did they do to fuck up this beautiful paradise in only like 20 or so years? What the hell did you guys do?
No, exactly. I feel like there's some things like that with the Mad Max series, though.
Like-
Kind of like I was saying to you, where it's like you watch the very first original Mad Max movie from like 40 years ago. Like that's like the same way where you kind of watch it and you go like, it's not very like post-apocalypse yet, or like
Yeah, and the
there's not a
first
lot of
Mad Max, and then
sand
came
as much, like,
Road
with more
Warrior. You're
buildings
like,
and shit.
uh-oh.
Then you get the Road Warrior, yeah, and it's like Mel's only a few years older or something, but sand's just everywhere.
It's just a wasteland.
Yeah,
It's lovely.
just like what the hell happened?
Then Thunderdome, beyond the Thunderdome, blah blah. But anyway,
We had a huge sand avalanche come in.
yeah, and like, to me, I'm like, dude, what did these people do to fuck up the green place? What did you guys do? How does a
Yeah.
whole forest in a lush paradise die in 20 years that you guys did?
These are questions you should not be asking with the Mad Max series, but
Everything just dies so
We
quickly.
kind of are, but
I mean, in the Mad Max world, they are fucked. Like, they nuke themselves to hell. I'm like, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure, according to canon, Mad Max world is like the oceans are dried up because they nuked themselves so hard.
oh, I could see that.
So it's fucked.
No, it's weird though. Like, there's some like water areas and like beyond Thunderdome when I was watching that.
Oh,
the
yeah,
other day.
but a lot of those are, like, the
kids
fresh
swimming
water.
in or whatever.
If I remember, those are like freshwater springs and rivers and stuff like that. Those come
Yeah.
from the groundwater and mountains. Those aren't oceans.
They need
The
to
oceans
stay,
are
they
fucking
need to stay near one
gone.
of those fucking places. I feel like they forget about those areas.
Pretty sure I'm pretty sure that's according to lore, unless they might have changed it over the years too, or something. But that's what I remember according to, I think, the old comic, like not comics, the old like lore of it.
Yeah. What'd you think of the action with this one?
The action was very fun, very
Right.
good. Like similar to like the first one. They got a lot more creative, I think, too, though, in this one, where
That's
they
what
had
I
like
thought.
a blender in the back of the truck,
Yeah.
a flail blender.
I think I actually kind of like the action in this a little better than Fury Road, but I
Yeah.
don't know. It's probably about on par. Like I said, there's certain things I appreciate with each one,
Mm.
like that Fury Road's a little bit more practical and stuff.
Yeah.
But there was a lot practical in Furiosa, it seems too. It's just they mix more like real on set things with the vehicles and stuff with I think more CGI and stuff.
Mm.
But it looks great.
Oh yeah, like you're seeing like and they get creative with this one too a
Yeah.
lot more. Like where you're seeing those the bandits that separated from Chris Hemsworth thing, and they, as they said, they went to go do their own thing because I guess they were fed up with Chris's shit, and or. What's his name again?
Dementis.
Dementis. Sorry, I gotta start calling him Dementis. It's just hard to instead of Chris, but Dementis.
I just see him as Chris Hemsworth with a fucking weird nose.
Yeah, and a big beard.
Yeah.
Big. But those guys are using like fucking what's the word? Paragliding and doing all these other
Yeah,
like,
they use like
parachutes to fly.
parachutes. They use like a paraglider. They use bikes that have parachutes on
them.
top of
Yeah.
them. It's fucking crazy. Like,
Dude.
there's a whole 15-minute action sequence that just is like, I don't know. I think it's my favorite action sequence out of any of the Mad Max things. Like, I was just the music and everything in that part. I was like, holy shit, this is badass.
Oh yeah, and,
Like,
like Furiosa at first is trying to hide away for a while because she's like trying to sneak away, but then
there's just so many elements.
ends up
going
having to
on.
help
Like,
the
she's having-
rig.
Someone's having to work on the bottom of the car with like the engine like fucking going to shit, and they're having to fix that.
Mid
And then
while
there are these
fucking
fucking
driving.
parachuters going all around and stuff.
Meanwhile, the
People throwing boomsticks.
the rig
and
boys are still doing their thing,
Yeah.
basically fighting off the other gangs.
yelling witness and shit.
Witness, dude,
It's
it
just-
is such a fun movie.
Yeah, it really
Absolutely.
is. Like you get to a scene like that, and you're like, this movie was already great, but like, holy shit, this is really like making it right now. Like,
It really was. Yeah, that's absolutely what it was. And then like she befriends the rig, the guy, the rig.
Praetorian Jack.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Praetor-
like
the
that
Praetorian guy.
character.
like because he like from it seems of it, there's like, of course the weird culty guys are those guys painting themselves in white
Yeah,
and all that stuff. But then you got like ones like Praetorians who seem like actual normal people who are just sticking with Joe because, easier living.
no, exactly.
Gotta stick
Like they're
together
just
in
trying to
this shit.
survive, and they've got an opportunity. It's almost like getting a job, one of the only jobs that exists in the wasteland.
Oh yeah,
basically.
and this one gives you has plenty of resources,
Yep.
and they got actually. I'm not gonna lie, Moral Joe's smart with the way he does his resources.
So yeah,
it
he's like a
works.
character that actually seems kind of like a good dude. We were saying he actually kind of gives like Mad Max vibes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he felt like Max.
yeah.
A lot of the like
He's
Praetorian.
even kind of dressed like him and shit too. So
Praetorian. Yeah,
like similarly, not exact, but
I mean, like maybe that's a lore reason. Maybe he comes from a similar civilization as Max did, and they
Yeah.
kind of have a similar look. Or maybe it's just
I was
it's
just-
very effective outfit.
I think it was kind of like not, I don't know if a reference would be the right word, but I think it was almost like supposed to be one of those things like that when she meets Max, maybe it sort of reminds her of him a little bit or something,
It could be because Max and that guy do seem like they were born before the bombs dropped,
Exactly,
so they were
have
still
the scenes where they talk about that.
and so they're a bit more normal than the other guys that are essentially like living for only like 15
Just
or
these
like
young
for 20 or
kids
so
that
years.
haven't even seen like what life used to be like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're still like normal. So they they know what it was like before the bombs dropped. So they're a little bit more, or at least they were, have some sort of resemblance, or they were raised at least by normal people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because Joe, like Moral Joe, I'm pretty sure was also like alive before the bombs dropped, but he uses it to his advantage and just goes all. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna become
imagine-
basically a god
I imagine
king.
that's what some of the stuff is like under his armor or whatever. Like it looks like some metals or something.
Like
maybe.
yeah, I was about to say, you see
Yeah.
the medals. I'm pretty sure that's because he was probably a war veteran,
Yeah,
and he just.
exactly.
I'm pretty sure that probably is the lore. To be honest, I think I remember.
It's
seeing
cool that
something
like
that.
with something like
He
not
just-
ev-
and
not
he used-
everything always needs to be someone character explains their backstory, but it seems like
It's
George Miller
subtle-
thought out the backstory.
Yeah,
kinda
and it's like little
Tarantino.
subtle things that you could be like,
Yeah.
oh, that makes sense.
Exactly.
Especially since he's got his brothers in charge of like all the places. He's a concentrating power. He seems like he's knowledgeable about how the world
Because
like
what I
works.
read about with this movie, I guess the basic premise, like just of the movie, with like a lot of some of the events that happen, like the big points, is what he told some of the actors, or at least Charlize Theron, when he was doing Fury Road. So like he explained to her like what kind of her backstory was, like before she filmed and stuff. So he's had this story brewing around the time he even did Fury Road, basically. Like it's got more developed, obviously,
and it shows because they knew what they wanted to,
and it really does, like we said, feel like a part 1 almost, and then you watch Fury Road right after and it's like, holy shit, this is like part 2 basically. Like
it is it does, like, as it goes on, you get like a bit of the psychology too, similar to Fury Road, subtly, of these different characters. You see a bit more Immortal Joe's personality, you see a bit of his brother's personality, like how the hell that whole thing.
And it really does make like a Immortan Joe and kind of even Dementis like two of the I think the
Dementis,
two best villains of the Mad Max series, because it's just like we got like kind of, well, not Dementis isn't around in the second
Immortal Joe
Fury Road, but Immortan Joe gets a lot of development in both movies.
Oh yeah, like Immortan Joe is basically the cult leader. He knows the religion bullshit, but he knows it gets him power. So he basically uses it to his to his advantage, where he's like, "Hey, people will die for me."
And then you also got
I'll use it to my advantage.
There's a couple other returning ones too, the Scrotus and the Organic Mechanic or whatever.
Oh yeah, the mechanic is you see, he originally was with Dementis. With Dementis, and then Dementis was like, he's Immortan Joe wanted him part of the deal. Like, I want
Furiosa,
him too.
He wanted him in Furiosa
because he had a useful skill that Immortan Joe wanted. And he's like, all right. And then he was like, all right, we'll give you him. And they just fucking chuck him to the side, which is actually something you see in a lot of old day stuff, like a lot of old day stuff times, where they're like just chucking. Yeah, you can have him. Fuck, trade my son, or it's like Fargo season 5.
Yeah,
was it 5 or 4? The one with Chris Rock and like
4,
the mob.
Yeah,
4,
which is funny because that character is literally in Fargo.
Oh yeah, that is. Yeah, he was in season 2.
Yeah,
was this 2? Was it 2 or 3?
Bear. He was Bear or whatever, right? Wasn't that the character he played, Bear?
Yeah, yeah. It was 2. It was season 2.
With the big beard.
The middle child of the mob in North Dakota.
Yeah, great show.
He was my favorite brother out of the 3, to be honest. But yeah, he's the only one that had somewhat sense.
But yeah, he's interesting in Furiosa because he seems like a lot less fucked up than he does when he's in Fury Road. It's like, man, he must have seen some shit through the years.
He's basically just giving birth to all these
kids. He just broke now, like.
Dude, when you have to pull out fetuses that are like that have like multi legs and are conjoined,
just desensitized.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're like, eh. Plus, he was basically like a tribal nomad guy, so he's a savage. So he's like he's probably seen some shit even back then. He's like, more shit. I'll just pile it on. Pile it on.
Pile it on. Fuck it.
But yeah,
fucking what did you think about the end with Chris Hemsworth?
Oh. Okay, so
that needs some discussion because I'm a little confused there. Because what it appeared was I saw Chris Hemsworth with a fucking tree coming out of his cock. Was I wrong?
The ultimate punishment is
what was happening there.
So basically, after there's a big war, the 40-year wasteland war, as the guy puts it.
Yeah.
As they're killing off Chris Hemsworth group, Dementis' group, and all that's really left is like Dementis and like 5-6 other people, and they hunt to death. Then
wasn't that like the 40-day montage was like a montage?
Yeah. I really wanted to see more. Like I really wanted to at least get a few like short battles at the very least, but yeah, well, I guess they didn't want to drag it on.
Like, fuck, we spent a lot on the budget on that 15-minute.
That's the director's. The uncut version will have it.
Yeah, it's got more chapters, maybe.
Oh, that would be. Guys, listen. If you do that, if you do an uncut, just do an uncut where it actually has like a few of the wars from uncut from the 40-year.
I'd even be down for a 40-day war. Both movies into one.
That would be cool too. But anyway, tracks him down. He's in the desert. Fucks with him in the desert for a while.
Yeah.
When it's just him left, and
he's like, "Kill me, just do it." Like, and
you're just like me.
Head. No, I'm not doing that, bro.
He was like,
I'm gonna drag it out. So you really have to be like, when am I gonna get shot in the back of the head?
Yeah. He was like, You can make it slow. It doesn't matter to me. Fast, slow. You're just like me, though, for real, for real. He's just fucking stupid. He's
Some
like,
Joker shit
you're
with
just like
Batman."
me. You're just like me.
You're just like me, Bats.
And then she's like, nah, I'm going to do something more fucked up. And then decides to, like, they're like saying, the rumors say she did just shoot him quickly. Others say that she dragged him out or did something more fucked up to him. But I know the real thing. And it's basically him at the spring where her and the Praetorian friend of hers where used to hang out. And she just planted this peach pit that she's been holding on this whole time to.
Yeah, in the whole movie.
Essentially, I don't know.
Her mom gave her.
I don't know how or why, but she put the pit apparently near his cock, and a tree over the years started growing out of it.
I'm assuming it's his cock because it seemed like whatever she did, it was somehow attached to his body.
Yeah, maybe she cut his dick off and just put it right in the hole. And
I'm
then
so
it grew,
confused.
and it's using his body as nutrients, as she even says. But he's still alive. He's withering away as it grows, but he's still being kept alive.
First time I was like, what the fuck?
Grows.
This is gonna ruin my career, bro.
Honestly, I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, it was fucked.
It's such a cool, but it's fucked up. But I love it. It's a creative. I haven't seen. That's a new one. That's a new way to kill someone. Fuck.
What? Shove a tree nut in their fucking
yeah.
dick?
Shove a peach pit in his dick and essentially watch a fucking tree grow out of it. And as it drains the nutrients and uses him essentially as fertilizer, slowly killing him. And he's still being kept, probably forced fed or enforced.
He's like
to
Harold
live.
in Fallout 3 now.
Yeah, and you and me both had that same idea. It's like this kind of gives me Harold from Fallout vibes, but instead of the head, it's his cock.
The camera starts off on his face and it starts panning down. And as you start to see the tree, I was like, oh, has he got like a Harold thing going on? It's like the bottom half of his body's like a tree now. It's like, no, he's still got his legs. Dude, like they show his legs and they show the rest of his body. It's specifically in his
dick.
Fucking dick area.
Dude,
and it seems attached to his body because he seems in pain.
Oh, yeah, it's 100%. Because they even say in the narrator's like, the tree's feeding off of him, so he is the fertilizer. So the roots are probably in his body,
dude,
like slowly,
like
decompose and fucking draining his nutrients.
That isn't fuck death. I don't know if you wish upon anyone. Like I think that's some death like the Joker fucking deserves.
A+.
I don't know about Dementis.
A+ in creativity. I love it. I'm a sick fuck, and that was a great fucking sick way to kill someone.
He was a piece of shit, but I don't think he was like a rapist or anything. Like,
honestly. This would be an Immortal Joe kill, personally, because Immortal Joe's a fucking...
He's definitely a rapist.
Him and his kid are weird rapists.
Those women do not want to have sex with him.
Yeah, no, that was fucked up. But
they never go into that, but that's definitely the case.
I'm pretty sure his son was also a pedo, also.
Oh, really?
Yeah, remember when he takes Furiosa as a kid?
Yeah, and Furiosa. I was thinking that too. Because even like when he's like touching her hair and shit.
Yeah, like Immortal Joe was like, we're gonna wait if you turn of age, then I'm gonna fucking do stuff to you.
Yeah,
but the son didn't want to wait. The son didn't.
That was kind of.
But she snuck away.
That was kind of disturbing. I was kind of glad they didn't go too into that.
Oh yeah, the guy, like, his son's name is Rectus, and then he has another son called Scrotus. Which is hilarious.
Scrotus weirdly introduced or Rectus weirdly introduced in this movie.
No, Scrotus was introduced. Rectus was in the other one. Scrotus, but Scrotus does not appear in the other one, so I'm guessing he died off screen. Maybe he had a short life like everyone else in that.
No, Scrotus is the one actually.
Yeah, that's
the Oh wait, no, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Scrotus was the guy that literally looked like he had a scrotum head.
It doesn't show Rectus on the plot list, like they were trying to keep it hidden or something. Like,
I didn't want my name to be Rectus.
You'd be surprised, guys.
But yeah, now it was good, and you see like Furiosa how she escapes from the brooding mothers and all them, and now she disguises herself as being part of the rig and the other various workers around, and works her way into where and then eventually meets the Praetorian fella, and then the movie continues from there. Yeah. She's just trying to sneak out, steal the rig probably, but then the Raiders kind of fucked up that plan.
I feel like there was a lot of influence from like the video game too.
Oh yeah, you can
because the video game came out I think before Fury Road even too, like a month before or something. I think.
No, the game came out after Fury Road. I do remember that specifically. Yeah.
Maybe it was that it was originally supposed to come out before Fury Road.
They maybe had it already ready, so it was
because it got delayed. But it was supposed to originally come out before.
I wouldn't doubt that part, because it did come out pretty soon after Fury Road.
But which is weird because the director too was, I guess, kind of shitting on that game recently.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either.
But
Yeah,
we really like it. Like
It's a
anyone
fun-
that we
it's a fun game.
that we talk to, it's made by the Avalanche, the Just Cause developers, and I honestly, it's like an open world, like fun game. There's all these different car options you can choose. You get to upgrade your car as the thing goes along.
you have your own little rig boy.
Great
that...
graphics, amazing graphics, and like almost like some fun Batman Arkham sort of like gameplay to it too.
Yeah, you're
Where,
just
like, when you
going
fight
around
people-
conquering the forts and bases as the story keeps going on. It was a fun game.
Right.
It's nothing too complicated, but it was
But like
it
you
did
see
its job.
Gastown and some of the other areas, they're literally in that game, and I feel like before the game, kind of you get some of it in Fury Road, but in this one they really go into like all those sort of different areas you could almost go.
Yeah,
to
fleshes
in
out the world a
game.
bit more. Yeah.
I was like, wow, it's kind of funny he shits on that because like that game actually did like. When you compare the game to Fury Road and Furiosa, it's like a perfect companion piece almost to them.
Like you also see a lot more homage. You feel like you're getting some references too from like the maggot farms that were in it. Were in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you're seeing that the peasants eat maggots to survive.
Yep.
And
The scene
stuff
with,
like that.
with the cameo of Mad Max where he's eating the dog food like you eat in the game.
dog food.
My
dog food.
His car, which like I'm pretty sure that's like the exact one. I know it's in some of the other movies too, but that's the one that's in the game too.
Yep.
And then like we said, some of the areas that you go to in the game and stuff. So it's
Yeah,
really
it has
cool.
it has the game vibe to it. And
Yeah.
I thought the game it had a few bugs I do remember. But I think they
Yeah.
fixed them over the years as it kept going.
Exactly. It was like an Obsidian sort of thing,
Mm.
like where like New Vegas was riddled with bugs at the
Hey.
start, but then they've kind of ironed it out over the years, and now it's seen as one of the best games of all time.
At least they
so-
fixed them, unlike the other Bethesda game.
Yeah.
Thanks, Todd.
Or like a lot of other developers nowadays that just don't fix games.
Mm,
But yeah, fucking Furiosa, really dug it.
yeah.
I think we saw it in RPX, which is like kind of like a Regal Cinemas equivalent of IMAX. But I think this is definitely one I want to see again.
Oh yeah, I would
And-
definitely see this again.
I want to see it in IMAX. I think
Ooh, that I think IMAX would be a good experience for
the
this.
sound was great in this too. Like just the sound in that theater and everything. I was like, holy shit, this is fucking awesome. Like.
Oh yeah,
Like we had the seats where there's a rail, we could put our feet up, and I could literally feel it was like a 4D a little bit, where like you could feel it vibrating that at points and stuff, and I was like, damn, this is crazy. Like,
it was definitely a great experience.
yes, for anyone that likes Fury Road, you're gonna enjoy this. I think a lot.
Anyone who likes good action, post-apocalypse movies with a lot of charisma, a lot of personality,
Yeah.
will love a movie like
Do
this.
you think
'cause
this is one that people could kind of just hop into if they haven't seen like a Mad Max movie before?
I think they could,
That's what I'm thinking.
especially since this is a prequel to
Yeah.
to the regular Fury Road. And Fury Road, you can just jump. Most people did just jump into Fury Road too.
Exactly, because it's been so long for a Mad Max.
Yep.
And this kind of makes it even better because, like, if you haven't seen any Mad Max movies yet, you could literally just jump in at Furiosa, go see it in theaters. If you love it, then you go watch Fury Road. And like we said, it's like a part 2, basically. So it's like you get a instant sequel right after you see this one if you've never seen them. And I think you'll enjoy them a lot. They're amazing movies.
Agreed. I will say pay attention to the beginning because they're like if you haven't seen it before, pay attention to the beginning because there's like radio things of essentially them explaining the bombs are being dropped. So you get a hint. So you gotta listen to for that in the very beginning.
Exactly.
It's
Like
harder to hear, but it is there.
Like someone would probably obviously gather that this is an apocalypse thing, but like they might wonder how. And yeah, a lot of it is very quickly explained through the little almost intro thing.
It's
that's like
subtly
a black
done.
screen with like some of the opening credits and stuff.
It doesn't hold your hand, which is good. I like a movie that doesn't hold your hand and
It's not
treats
like
you
the
like
original
you're not
Blade
dumb as
Runner where
fuck.
they had the whole narration thing at the beginning, like trying to like, oh, the audience is too stupid. They're gonna be confused. You gotta explain this shit to them.
No, they do a good job at that and not going too far, but them explaining, you seeing it, it does a good job. It does, so you can definitely just jump into this if you want, if you haven't seen Fury Road yet. But then I recommend watching Fury Road after.
Yeah.
100%.
But yeah, we highly recommend it.
Oh,
I think it's probably my favorite movie of the year so far.
Oh, if watching this will also make you really jealous. You can't have some of these vehicles. Fucking seeing
Right?
looks like like a Challenger or a car with the fucking tank treads going around is always an awesome time.
Chris Hemsworth's fucking monster truck.
Oh, dude, yeah, that fucking thing was climbing mountains.
Yeah, there were so many points where you're like, it's not climbing that. Holy shit, it is.
Dude,
Like,
I've seen like shorts on YouTube where people will be driving up those like giant
Yeah.
mountains in like vehicles like that. It's so cool. You're like, no way, no. Oh shit!
especially on sand too. You're like, damn.
It's either Australia or like Western U.S. You'll see stuff like that, like where
Yeah.
the very mountainy, dry, deserty
Like
areas.
Nevada or something.
Yeah, or like Utah or
Yeah.
somewhere in like Arizona. The one of those states in the U.S. and then Australia has a lot. Basically, all Western Australia is like that.
Where do you think this ranks for you for your like Mad Max movies?
If we're counting the original
Yeah,
three
all,
too.
like any of them.
Hmm.
Because you really like Road Warrior, right?
Road Warrior is a really good one.
I know a lot of people that's their favorite.
I will say Fury Road still was one of my favorites, but I actually think this might beat my Fury Road. This might
That's
be
what I'm
my new
thinking,
favorite, to be
yeah.
honest.
That's what I'm thinking. I think it's my new favorite.
It's very close. That and Fury Road are very close because,
Yeah.
like you said, they have their own things going, like more practical for the Fury Road, which you appreciate. But then this one still has like some really cool ideas and
Yup. And
Especially
and
sold me
good
with the fucking-
mix of practical and CGI.
oh yeah. It like especially sold me with the peach tree growing out fucking Chris Hemsworth cock.
And him just being like, he's such a, even though he might not be like a super intimidating villain, he's a fun villain.
He's a charismatic,
He's a charismatic,
villain.
really fun, I think memorable villain, honestly.
You can see how he got people originally followers because he's
Yeah.
very charismatic. He is intelligent, but then he just kind of flushes it down the drain because he just doesn't know what he's doing when it has to do with actual civilization. Only really knows war by
Exactly.
horde. The horde. He's
It's like he got caught
Australian
up.
horde.
It's like he got caught up in power all too much one day. And
Oh,
he's
yeah.
like, oh, we gotta fucking take over Gastown and shit.
Which-
but
which
even though
shows,
they
'cause
did
he does
know
not
how to
gi-
entirely take that over.
He also does not give a fuck half the time about his people. He'll use them as
Yeah.
shields gladly. Like, hey, go check where they are. Boom. It's just
Oh yeah, like
or
when
using the other
he
guys
was
as
working
shields.
with that other team or whatever, and he
Or-
just didn't give a fuck about his dudes. He like disguised them as war boys, but then he was just killing all of them. He's like, gotta make it convincing.
Oh yeah, them too. Oh yeah, he was like this
He's
is
like,
a
you're
guy.
a fucking piece of shit, man.
He will sacrifice his troops. He's intelligent though. He's like, well, they're not
that
buying
was
it
smart because that was what allowed him to even get the talk with fucking
to get
Morton
inside
Joe,
Gastown.
yeah.
Yeah, and it works. He, like I said, he's intelligent. He knows what he's doing. He comes from a time before the bomb, so that's probably why he's not radiated. Fucked.
He's
in the
almost
head.
got like a slight
Totally.
celebrity kind of vibe too, like how celebrities just don't remember people. Like he doesn't even remember Furiosa when he ends up seeing her. Down
She
the
was a
road.
kid, so I kind of get it.
No, I
but-
do. I do
yeah,
too.
I know
but,
what
like,
you mean.
They kind of act like he like actually weirdly somewhat cared about her a little bit. I think.
Yeah,
towards
little
the
D.
end,
Little D.
Yeah.
He called her.
when he finally did remember her, like right before he died, but or no, actually
It
he
was-
didn't die.
remember
but
she was
right
like,
before she was thinking about killing him.
Yeah.
But
It was like a adopted daughter type thing
Yeah.
for a little bit. I think he was trying to go for that, but then like he has to trade her away, as the other guy's like saying, "It's actually pretty smart to trade her away, sir. It creates
like,
part
all
of
right,
the
I just
deal.
got my nipples ripped off. So
It's part of the deal,
that scene
sir."
was fucking hard too when he got his nipples ripped off. I was like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because he was holding the
Fuck.
spike, and then the dumbass, look what you did. He's looking at Rectus, and he's like, "Look what you did.
I
You
was
made
just-
me slip my."
After
my
that, I
hand
was just
slip.
like looking
Dumb
at his.
fuck.
I was just looking at Chris Hemsworth's face for Furiosa. I was like refusing to look at his chest. I was like, no, no.
But yeah,
But go see it, Pose.
it goes hard. It very much goes hard.
Furiosa goes hard.
Oh yeah.
Fucking
It gets
glad,
me.
glad our last two movies have been two really good ones for
Oh,
like
yeah.
a franchise that's been around for a while too.
I'm very happy. I'm very
Yeah.
happy. We've been getting lucky with these movies right now.
Because sometimes we've gotten some really shitty ones recently.
Rebel Moon.
Yep.
Yep.
Had
So.
to sit through two of those
Yep.
within
Yeah.
6 months of one another.
Yep. That was lovely.
That was some bullshit.
So.
But yeah, this is not a Rebel Moon. This is a very. It's probably, like we said, our favorite George Miller movie, favorite Mad Max movie to date. So go see it in theaters, Pose, and then watch Fury Road, and you got a recipe for success right there.
Feel free to check out the other Mad Maxes too. All are fun, good times.
Yes, 1, 2, and 3 are really fun. They're a little bit more campy, but
Yeah, first one especially.
gotta-
Very first Mad Max is very campy and
I always appreciate
totally
that
different
with those
vibe, too,
sort of
during the whole
movies,
thing.
too, like older movies. Like some people, I feel like don't like them because of that, but as long as you know that going in, I think you can have a really fun time with the first 3.
You can just start off with Road Warrior and head to the Thunderdome
Yeah.
if you really want.
Like we said, 1 doesn't really have much apocalypse stuff.
It's like very early apocalypse
Yeah.
where there's still civilization. People are just more bandity, and he's trying to be a cop.
Yep.
It's like Rick Grimes in a way from Walking Dead, where
Yeah.
he's still trying to hold on to it. He's like, I'm a cop in the early days of Rick, where he's trying to still be a cop. It's like that, but where he's like,
The
I'm still trying to protect
The
this
Rick
town.
Mantis one. What deep cut.
Oh yeah. Anyway,
Everyone watches Rick and Morty though.
oh, not that Rick. I meant the Rick from like Walking Dead. Rick.
Oh my god.
No, Rick fucking say
Rick Grimes.
Yeah, the Rick
Oh
Grimes.
shit.
Like,
Wrong Rick.
remember where he's trying to be a cop in the
Yeah.
beginning of Walking Dead? It's like that in the first Mad Max, where he's still trying to be a cop.
No,
essentially.
exactly.
And then his slow descent of, you know what, maybe I gotta be a little bit more of a hard ass and
Yeah.
less of a cop and more of a fighter. And then it Road Warrior, and then.
But I remember when I saw
continue that.
Fury Road, I just saw Fury Road first, never saw any of the other Mad Max movies, and that worked.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So I think people, like we said, can totally start with Furiosa, then do Fury Road, and then almost get like Max's backstory with like the first 3 if they really
if
wanna
it
go
is the
into
same
it.
Max, because there's some
Yeah.
fan theories out there that say it might
Tom
be
Hardy's the Pharaoh kid
either from Road Warrior. Yeah, which is an interesting theory, but
I kind of think that, especially since he's like, like always grunting and
yeah,
shit.
that's what I was telling you.
Yeah.
He sounds like the feral kid at times,
Yeah.
but
He's become a lot more sophisticated, but he just still has that aspect to him at points.
it would be really cool, especially with like his PTSD flashbacks, him trying to be Max saving people, but maybe he fucked up. He's like, he failed being able to save people, so he's haunted by them. Like, I'm not Max.
It doesn't
I'm
seem
not the
like
Max.
it's his like. I don't know. Yeah, it seems like when he has those flashback things, if me and you talked about that, like it's not the same as like his family that was in the original.
Yeah,
it
no,
seems.
they come off as more like people that he probably just
Yeah.
found and then tried to save but couldn't do it.
But yeah, Max is barely in Furiosa, so don't go in.
Don't expect
Expecting
Max.
him.
Expect Furiosa, but still the same world. It's a very good developed world.
And like we said, other characters from Fury Road and stuff. So
And you get to see how those people in Fury Road fucked up somehow and made their paradise turn into a fucking shitty swamp with a bunch of crows.
how did you fuck this up?
You ruined it!
Now you got these weird fucking people on stilts fucking going around, look like some Silent Hill fucking creature.
I think the director actually did post some lore in like some like director's interview where people asked him about those, and he actually
you said it
gave
was
lore.
for traversal and stuff, kind of.
Like
because they
he was
just
like
can't-
saying those people on stilts are like that's how they go and hunt for things in the water essentially, or they're trying to stay
Okay, so
off the
there's, like,
water, but they're
maybe
hunting
blades on them
they're-
or something.
or
They're
they're
sharp.
maybe we don't. Like I said, they make a glimpse so you barely know
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
They
you
just
don't-
look weird.
Yeah,
it's,
exactly.
it's like some shit you'd see in Dark
It's
Crystal.
a little bit of a what the fuck moment, though.
Yeah, I know. Yep, but
But Furiosa and just Mad Max in general kind of have a lot of what the fuck moments in this universe at points with some of the characters.
honestly,
and
yes,
things.
that's what I mean. It has its own
It's got
personality.
that's part of
Do-
the charm of it.
Yeah, it's a very charming, fucked up world, and it in a funny way though. A lot of the time, it's the dark humor of the apocalypse in a way.
But yeah, if you're looking for a good R-rated action movie, go see Furiosa.
Very big recommend.
All right, Pose. As usual, sign up or not. Don't sign up, but follow us on Facebook and Instagram and all of our podcast pages. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
If you want to sign up,
anything.
go for it. I'm not against it. Somehow, find a way to sign up. Hell yeah.
There probably is a way.
Life finds a way.
Find a way to sign up, Pose.
Just don't find a way to
Even if
fuck
we
up the
don't
green
know
place.
But also follow Grill TV.
Mm-hmm.
And that about sums it up for tonight.
Aye.
Thank you for joining me, Silas.
And until next time, witness me.
Witness!
Witnessed!
Peace, Pose.
Peace.